Statista.com reports that in 2018, 9.69 million people of the ages of 6 and up participated in a game of softball. I've personally played softball my entire life, and it is still a big part of my life today as I work for the A&M softball team. Anybody and everybody can play the game of softball, and I can almost guarantee that everybody listening to this or watching this has either played or watched a game of softball. Today I'm going to inform you a little bit more about the history of softball, how it was the creation of the game, the formation of the Amateur Softball Association, or the ASA, which is a big part of how softball is played today, and how people play the game today. Let's first start off with how it was created and it began. Every activity that you have played was created, but somehow, some way, but you probably do not know the history behind it unless you've researched it. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about softball. According to the USA softball team's website, in 1887, George Hancock started the game that was known as indoor baseball. He started at the Farragut Boat Club in Chicago by marking off 4 bases around the gym and a pitcher's mound. This indoor baseball actually started with including aspects of baseball and boxing. And this happened because at a Yale and Harvard football game, George Hancock was a reporter, and according to the History of Softball article, when the results came out that Yale won, a Yale student picked up a boxing glove and threw it at a Harvard student, and who hit it back with a stick. And that's how Hancock got the idea. That's where it came from. And even though indoor baseball was played in 1887, Walter Hankinson in 1926 coined the term softball. According to Softball New Zealand, this term came from the term mushball. Indoor baseball was then considered mushball, kittenball, all different sorts of things, but mushball was the main thing that it was called, and Hankinson decided, no, it's going to be softball. So even though it was very popular back in the day, everybody had a different set of rules. And in order for the game to evolve, there needed to be a universal set of rules that everybody went by. And this is where the Amateur Softball Association came in play. Every activity needs a set of rules. You go into a game, you know the set of rules, or if it's a new game that you're playing with some friends, you make up a set of rules. But however, you cannot just play it by ear the entire time. There has to be a set thing. So in Renzoni and Blackhawk's book, the Amateur Softball Association, the ASA, was founded at the Joint Rules Committee meeting in 1933 that was set up by Michael Pauly and Leo Fisher. Their main goal was to have local organized teams turn into state organized teams, which in turn could become national teams. That was their goal of the ASA, and to have a universal way of knowing what was happening in the game and have that universal set of rules. They kicked off the ASA, the forming of the ASA and that organization in 1933 when they hosted a tournament that had 55 teams in it. They organized these teams into 3 different categories: the fast ballers, the women, and the slow pitch teams. Here this is when they established the length of the bases, in between the bases, the length of the pitcher's mound, and all the different rules that went along with softball, or what their rules were back then. Of course, they have evolved till today, but back then that's when they set the standard. And because of the ASA and the forming of the rules, they were able to explain nationally and even globally. And so the ASA has made it become a very popular sport and is still played today. Sports Destinations reports that 3.5 million people play for an ASA organization. So the odds that you or someone you know has played for an ASA organization or team. Fast pitch softball is the most popular through the ASA, and the ages range from anywhere from 8 years old to 18 years old. And that means that anybody from the Little League team in your hometown to the Olympics that represent the USA all those people can play softball, and that's who's playing fast pitch. Even though softball is not as popular as baseball, there are people out there that are trying to work for that. They're advocating for it. One of those people is Jenny Finch. She is one of the most popular players today, and she has been for a long time, ever since she played at Arizona State in college. She hosts camps for young girls to go to and spread awareness for softball and make their love of the game grow. She also works as a softball ambassador for the MLB to help grow the love of the game for softball and grow softball on the national level. Another person that advocates for softball is Kat Osterman. She is still able to play. She still is playing, and she planned to play at the 2020 Olympics in Tokyo. However, that was cut short. But since she's still playing, she's still able to be an advocate for the game of softball, and she continues to coach at Texas State. Now that you have a better understanding of the sport and history, I hope that you are able to enjoy the game more. I've told you about the creation of the game, how it started, the forming of the ASA, which gave everything its rules and a universal understanding of the game, and the people that play it today. Even though softball is not one of the most popular sports, I can still hope that it grows, and the only way it can do that is by people knowing about the game and understanding it. Thank you.